Welcome to Rogelio, a space where we explore and discuss complex and often difficult topics. Before we begin, we want to acknowledge that today's discussion may cover traumatic events and include language and topics that could be triggering for some. Please be advised that we are not healthcare professionals, psychologists, or legal advisors. The content shared in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered as professional advice. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or in need of support, we strongly encourage you to seek help from a qualified professional. In case of an emergency, please do not hesitate to contact emergency services immediately. Our goal is to foster understanding and awareness while respecting the sensitivity of the subjects discussed. Listener discretion is advised. Thank you for joining us, and let's approach today's topic with empathy and openness.
So how'd your week go since last time we tried this?
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Very busy weekend.
Yeah, a lot of party hardy, or just
Some of
shuttling the
that.
kids everywhere.
Some shuttling,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's pretty typical to Chicago. We drove into the city this weekend to my buddy Abel. He's like, what's it called? Settling in his place. There's like an event. It's eluding me.
Housewarming?
Housewarming. There we
Okay.
go.
Word's hard.
Words hard. We
Mm-hmm.
drove into to Bucktown to see him.
Nice, man.
Let's see what else. On Saturday, Lincoln had a change, which I think it's interesting to witness Lincoln go through changes
Mm-hmm.
to see how he reacts to them and how he deals with them. And so Saturday was the first time that he swam alone at Goldfish. It's a big change,
Nice.
but the way that he handled it
Mm-hmm.
was he cried the whole time. Um, and he didn't swim. And Sarah, the lady there, Goldfish, handled it great. She was like, this is actually pretty typical.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes this happens. And she was saying, do more family swims. And then build up scenarios to where you can distance yourself so they can be more comfortable being further away from you in the water. And then,
Mm-hmm.
because there's still like glass, and you can see your parents through the glass, but it's like that 20 feet
Yeah,
that he
is
wants
is
you
a
right there.
is a canyon instead of
Yeah.
like 1 foot, 2 feet,
Yeah.
4
I tried to
feet,
stand off on the
6.
side. That didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Oh no, that's great that he.
I think, but the interesting thing is though, is that like everyone experiences change different, and some people are like, no, no, I don't want to do it. I can't do it. I'll never be able to do it. But we get to the point to where we accept change. We're capable
Mhm.
of changing, and I don't know. It's interesting to see kind of the initial changes occurring through Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Because I find myself to be pretty adaptable, but it's only happened over time. And I went through some really tough changes as a kid. Like,
Oh, I was horrible at swimming as a kid. It took me forever to learn.
what year do you think that you were a capable swimmer by yourself?
Capable swimmer? I don't
Well, that you weren't drowning.
know. Okay.
That's in my definition of
I don't know,
capability.
like 13 or something?
13.
13, 14?
Yeah.
Like I took all those swim classes and I just like sunk like a rock.
Huh.
And then like I don't know what happened eventually. I just
Yeah.
learned like, okay, I can lie on my back without drowning.
True.
And
Very
then you get that, then
low
you're like,
effort, but you can still just live
yeah.
floating.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that once I got that, it was like a little bit better. But yeah, that took me a long time.
Yeah. 13. I don't know. I don't know when it was for me. Also, I'm bad converting grades to age. I think I'm better at quantifying a grade.
8th grade, so
Okay,
13 to
8th grade.
14.
I think. Well, when I was growing up in California, we actually had a pool in our backyard. So
Oh.
this changes my like early
Yeah, because you
experience.
more access to a pool.
Yeah. So in like the first grade, I could already swim.
Mm-hmm.
Had been going to swim team in California. And so I don't know. Sometime in there.
Yeah, no,
I
it
wasn't
would like,
3.
well, I mean, by first grade would have been 6 or 7.
Yeah. So double his age. Yeah. I'll be all right.
Well, I mean, you were swimming by then, so you may have been swimming earlier. So,
Maybe.
but yeah. Well,
Yeah, but it was good. Good weekend.
nice. I got sick again over the last week. I mean,
Yeah.
so, but that was like Wednesday, so I'm good now. But,
Good.
you know, obviously all the kids at work.
They missed you.
No, there's just, there's a bunch of kids. There's
Oh.
always something going around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Working around kids is being right next to all of the germs.
Mm-hmm. All the germs all the time. Other than that, kind of ruined my energy to get things done for the week.
Yeah. Being sick
Really.
sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I never do anything like I feel like of value when I'm sick. I'm just like, my definition of value is feeling marginally better. I feel like then you're accomplishing something.
Like, it's 101. Now it's 100. Okay, yeah, we're doing
way better.
Yeah.
For those days, if I hate it when I'm so sick that I can't even enjoy playing video games. But there are definitely days like that.
Mm-hmm. Where you're just like lying in bed and you're just
no,
like,
I can't even watch a show.
you just like sit up and you're like, no.
No.
You lie back down.
No, I'm going back down.
Yeah.
I'll come back hopefully later when it's better.
Knock out for a few more hours.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's see. Last week was not very good because you were sick. This week it's a new week. How's your week starting? How's your day so far today?
Pretty good. I mean, work was good. I was on time, slept decent.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah. That's got to be an issue for you, I'm sure, with, you're probably waking up 2, 3, 4 times a night.
Yeah, I've lost count.
Just get one of those clickers.
Right.
Just like
blurs together. Last night, I went to Lincoln's room a few times.
Mm-hmm.
He loves to run out of his room and be like, Dad, Joel, where are you, Joel? And so it's like, if I'm not right there, the whole house is up.
Oh my gosh.
And so sometimes I'll sleep upstairs, just right on the couch, and I'll be like early intervention, and I'll pop up and I'll grab him and I'll be like, go back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Other days I'll be like chilling down here. I'll be like watching a show. I'll fall asleep. Then Gabi will come down and be like, Joel, you gotta go up there. Sometimes it's like her giving me Levi.
Mm-hmm.
I said last night at some point, second or the third time, I was just sleeping on the couch upstairs. Then at one point, Lincoln was just sleeping with me, and I don't remember this at all. But like I woke up and I went to bed.
How did this happen?
Lincoln was in his bed. I woke up. He was with me.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new one. So he ninja cuddled me, or after waking up 3 times, I was just like,
you're just like
dead, zombie mode. I fell asleep the other night playing games with Porter or Barlog. Balrog. And he called me out the next day. He was like, so we were playing games. And then someone was snoring. And I'm like, he was like, it was person A or it was person B. Person A was like, it's not me. It's like, oh, yeah.
It's Joel.
It's Joel.
I
think Matt, hopefully, he just like dragged me into AFK or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or, I don't know. I shouldn't be using names.
Yeah. Code names like Balrog. Nobody knows
Fearless.
who that is.
Yeah, Fearless. I'll just use gamer tags.
There you go. That's a good way to get around the issue.
Yeah. So we'll have to like make a noise over the original entry.
Just a fart noise.
Yes.
Because that's about
right.
how
that's completely me.
It's completely us. Let's be honest. Yeah. All right. Well,
last week we talked about procrastination and intimidation, and I don't think that we got to a third topic. Do we just finally quit out?
I think so, because it was like running close to an hour.
Yeah. This week I wanted to talk about hobbies and my inclination to tool up and never do the hobby.
I know of what you speak. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get this, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go, and then you're like, there's a great show on that
Right.
I've already watched 3 times.
Yeah.
Let's watch it
I could do
again.
that. I could watch your show and do none of this.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, so many projects where you just get into something and then you're just like, I'm gonna do this. This is a great idea.
Yeah.
Like the bed canopy. I gotta finish it.
Yeah.
And I also bought like a sound system so I could put the sound bar at like the foot of my bed,
Yes.
and then the speakers behind to the left and to the right.
Nice.
And also I got LED lights to surround like the perimeter
I love it.
of the inside, so I can also like read
Yeah.
in there, and I can switch it off. I'm hoping I can.
LED lights are one of my favorite things to pick up from Home Depot in the holidays because you can get like some of them for relatively cheap,
Mm-hmm.
and it turns these random projects that we do
Mm-hmm.
into cool things. Adding lighting to things, I think, brings a lot of ambiance or emotion to
True.
like the theater of the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got these. I think they're I don't know if they're programmable, but I bought them off of Amazon. They're just like a little strip
Yeah.
of LEDs. Not like the like Christmas LEDs or those kind
Yeah.
of LEDs.
I'm familiar. It's more of like a piece of tape, and then
Yeah.
the lights are embedded within.
Mm-hmm. And you can cut
You
it
can cut
off,
it.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my thought, and I'm still what is this? I've been thinking. I'm trying to finish this for like 2 years now.
Yeah. How can we push through to the end and get this bed canopy done for you?
I'm thinking I gotta do like those small little goals like you're
You gotta
talking about.
yeah, you gotta chop it up.
Like every day, just mark off something.
Yeah.
Thread the needle on the sewing machine, and then
Yeah.
the next day you sew one piece, sew the next piece.
Yeah.
Did that? Be probably be done in a week or two.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe a little bit longer.
Maybe longer than that, but as soon as you start moving the bar, get into
Mm-hmm.
that cadence like you were talking about, we need to have more of a well-established cadence because then we can like get into the groove of things and focus on what matter, not the doing, like
Mm-hmm.
the kind of the things that we want to talk about.
Yeah, not the end result, but the each little micro step in between.
Yeah.
Instead, yeah, focus on the next step, not the next mile.
Yeah.
So
I've been so the reason why I was bringing up hobbies,
Hobbies.
tooling,
Mm-hmm.
is because I don't know if it's something about spring.
You just want to like
I
get
just
out
want
and
to
start.
shed. I want to do a few things. I want to shed like stuff that I have in my house that I don't need. Like I
Spring
haven't
cleaning.
touched it. Spring cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
and then two, I just need to get out and do stuff.
It's true. True.
And so last week we talked about my fear of table saws, and to me, it's not only one of the reasons why I want to move away from power tools is because I think that getting into the craft to
Mm-hmm.
me is the higher reward in doing it by hand than being able to produce the thing. And so this also aligns with my need to shed stuff. So I'm like, I could get rid of this thing and do this the way that I like at the same time. So this week I've been trying to do stuff by hand,
Mm-hmm.
and
How's it been going?
it's fun. Definitely a different type of hobby.
Experience versus
Experience.
like using power tools, which gets it
Yeah,
done.
which gets it done. So, for instance, I was looking at wood grain today and the
Mhm.
direction of the wood grain, because that matters when you get into carving or
Mm-hmm.
chiseling. And I've been trying to make specific shapes. One of the reason why is because I have this wonderful piece of furniture in my garage right now, and it's like a handcrafted antique.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some pieces that are broken on it, and I'm gonna have to remake those pieces. And
Mm-hmm.
I currently don't have any idea how I'm going to do it. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to fabricate some pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and also there are some handcrafted parts of it, like hand chiseled, like flowers, fruit, an eagle, a moon, many textures,
That seems like.
and so that's daunting. All of those shapes.
Mm-hmm.
So I've given myself something achievable,
Sure.
right? Trying to make a circle and making imposing your geometric will on like fibrous material
Mm-hmm.
is like more difficult than I envisioned. Um,
Well,
I'm just gonna, I'm not expecting perfection in the beginning, but
no,
I'm
I
just
would
way
expect to
further
be.
away than
Well, yeah,
I want.
you're at that
The beginning.
the beginning of that Dunning Kruger thing where you're just like,
Yeah.
I got this, and you like start trying, and you like immediately just fall off the cliff.
Fall
You're
off.
like,
I don't got this.
I have I thought I was here.
Yeah.
Well, actually, right here.
Actually, I'm down there.
No, yeah, I get that. You always envision like, okay, well, I know how this should go, and then you're like,
Yeah.
how to make my hands and the tools do what
The
I need to
thing.
do.
Yeah.
It's like, I
Yeah.
understand how it's a circle. I was like,
Just
why doesn't it work like that?
Yeah. Then making a circle with linear tools,
It would be difficult.
challenging.
They got, I mean, they got specific carving tools.
They do, but when I guess I don't know if I just jumped straight to the hardest thing to do, but then you would need probably,
I mean,
yeah, um, you would need like specific shapes of circles or like diameters because like I need a 2 inch versus a 3 inch. And then so if you're using the 2 inch on the 3 inch,
well, I meant
I
like
don't think it's
more
gonna
like
work.
rounded tools instead of like just like a
Yeah.
straight up knife. So
Oh
it gives
yeah,
you
yeah,
that
yeah.
it gives you that kind of bend when you're sloughing it
Yeah.
off versus just like this.
I need like an intermediate circular chisel. I have a small hand one
Mm-hmm.
or a large straight chisel. I don't have like a medium
Yeah,
curvy
I mean,
one.
I don't know anything about chiseling, so
Yeah.
I would not be the person to talk to on that. But yeah, no, I also get what you mean about like spring, and you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready to tackle new shit.
Yeah, man.
Because I was recently thinking about starting to train in like pool
Nice.
a lot more than I currently do, which is to say, not
To
at all.
to step up your like
Yeah,
technical ability
to
to
step up my
do shots
game. Well, my
because
game, the
they're
way I
like
think about it, playing other games besides 8 ball and 9 ball,
yeah.
like carom or snooker, one pocket, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I have a friend that shoots on my Tuesday league, and I might start practicing with him because he's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I might join a second team on Monday nights. So yeah, we'll do this, and then I'll go straight to that
Wow.
because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Are you personally overcommitting, or like do you have the energy for this?
I have no clue. But the
You're just
one
gonna
thing
make it happen?
there, here's the one thing that's nice about it. The second league is literally a mile from my house,
Oh, golden.
so it's not like I have to go like
Yeah.
far from where I live to go
It's not like you
shoot.
have to drive to Bucktown.
Yeah, I just go and I could go there, shoot, and then go home. I don't
Yeah.
have to like wait, or I can even stay at home until they like text me and I need to shoot, and then I just take 5 minutes. I get there,
Yeah.
shoot, and go home. So it's not as whereas the other place like it's at 7 o'clock. I gotta drive through the city. It takes me like 40 minutes to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not nearly as much of a commitment
Yeah.
as the other team is.
Good. And then you'll be shooting more. You'll be getting better that way.
Mm-hmm. I'll be practicing with my friend on the weekends, hopefully.
Yeah.
It took us a while to hammer out some kind of schedule for this, but I think we finally hit on something that hopefully will work, at least.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I just, I don't know. I always just kind of like played the game like I wanted to be good, but I didn't want to be like too good because I don't want to get like so good where I'm just like I'm not gonna be playing anybody who can really pose me a challenge at
Mm.
all.
You personally throttled your skills, or like you stopped trying to get you
I
stopped
got I
receiving betterments. You feel like because
I wouldn't. I would say I got
because you were unchallenged.
no, 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 no. That's not it. I'm not saying I wasn't. I was unchallenged. I'm just saying I think I could get to a point where it would be hard for me to find challenging players if I tried and I trained. I think I could get to a place where I would be good enough to
I
where it
think
would
that's
be.
a proud thing to say. A virtually proud thing because you're not there yet. You're saying I could be good enough to no
I
one would challenge me.
no, I didn't say nobody would challenge me, but the point is to go out and shoot with people, more of a social thing instead of like going out there to.
Pool is social for you, and you don't want to dominate.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if I start getting that good, then I'm
Yeah.
gonna lose that element because who's gonna want to play
You
somebody who?
think?
I
I don't
mean,
know, man.
I think it would take I think it would take time. I'm not saying this would happen in a year,
I know.
but I think it
No,
would.
but so if you get really good, then you'll help the other people get really good too. Because they'll be like, "Yo, you see what that dude did?"
That assumes I'm a good teacher and I can help people learn.
I feel like excellence is a different way of teaching.
True.
I'm personally not instructive when I teach. I feel like when it comes down to it,
Mm-hmm.
as far as my teaching goes, I'm like, figure it out. Um,
Well,
and so, and it's more of an observation thing. You can observe other people do things well and then do them well too.
well, yeah. I mean, if
You should become the best, Sean. This is what I heard. The subtext of this conversation is that you could be the best. You should
I
become the best.
no that I don't know that like I would be the best player in the city. I don't. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that
Shoot
that's
for it, man.
possible. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I
Could
do
be.
know that I could get to a level where I'd have not a lot of people that would be like in my skill range.
Yeah.
And that's not bragging. That's just like if you practice
Sure.
enough, most people would get to a place like
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. And I've had some friends and people in league tell me that I could be a lot better than I currently am.
If you gave a crap, is it like you're not serious, or they're like you're not as
It's
technical as you need to be? How come you can't English counterclockwise after a 90-degree or some sort of shot? Or
it's because I don't practice and I'm not as consistent with things as I should be. But the way I
consistent.
think about my game and the way I plan out my shots and run things, I'm good that way. And I could be better, but right now when I shoot my games during
Yeah.
league, and that's all I shoot.
I think
Like I don't practice outside of
for
that.
consistency in pool, I think it's not only shooting; it's also knowing the table. Because there have been so many times when like I've gone to a table and I bank a fair amount, or I use the walls as tools to
Well,
navigate, and
you have to, yeah.
the different
I mean,
resistances can really throw it off. There's some subtleties there that can
well,
change your game.
that's another thing. You need more playing more consistent places. You're not playing
Yeah.
in
Dingy
bars
bars.
where
Yeah.
like there's a rail that you like have to just like
Hammer.
smack it and it's still not going to bounce off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The dead rail.
And so yeah, and that you can only get so good playing on tables like that
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Absolutely. Because it doesn't
mhm,
matter. It doesn't matter how accurate you are when
when you can't do
when your
the shots
table
is
is chaos.
like you have to shoot entirely differently because the table is awful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, or even the cue balls sometimes, not the cue ball, even the balls on the table are sometimes like just messed
So
up.
I moved the pool table, which used to be behind us, into the garage.
Yeah,
Great for the space.
for sure.
But my garage floor is
Completely
basically an
taken up.
earthquake. No, it's just like, you know,
Oh, there's stuff
all over the place. It's not as flat as here. So I went to shoot, and man,
Was it awful?
it was awful.
Well, did you? I mean, did,
so
did you move that table since before you were here, or was it here when you got here?
It was here when I got here.
So what was probably it? It was just already leveled when you moved in
Yeah,
for that space.
probably.
So you took it out to the garage, and it's not leveled for that space, and you probably have to get
Tune it somehow.
well level. A lot of the tables have little, they have little legs
We'll
or
look at
something
it
that
later.
twist it.
This is a very interesting design. It sits on plastic legs.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how it's leveled, but I tried to level it my way. I shimmed it,
Mm-hmm.
or I attempted to, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's somewhat playable now. But
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So yeah, that would be the one thing I was thinking about doing over the summer,
yeah,
especially since I got that pool hall that's right by me. I can
Yeah.
get a lot of practice in.
heck yeah, man.
They have snooker, they have carom tables, they got big tables, they got small.
Explain snooker to the listeners.
Like I know. I don't fully know. I've only watched a few games and I can't
Yeah.
say I understand the scoring. But there's red balls, there's the cue ball, there's red balls, and then there's a bunch of different color balls.
Yeah.
So what I think you have to do is you have to knock in a red ball first, and that doesn't count as a point. And then you knock in one of the color balls, and that counts as a point. And I don't know if you have to continue like red, color, red, color, red, color, or if it's just red,
Color,
and then
color,
color, it like points until you miss. I'm not sure. And different.
I could get into that because I feel like I like playing pool, but I think that the regular games I play they're not exciting anymore.
Well, I mean,
So I
there's
can-
plenty of games you can play. Like there's that. There's
Are
Dude, there's like 40 different cue sports.
I had no idea.
And like each one has different variations. There's
Yeah.
like 8-ball is slop or call your pocket. So it's the same game. You just
Yeah,
you
you
got
modify
call, yeah. And then
Sure.
there's you got 9-ball. Then there's 10-ball. Then there's one pocket. Then there's carom, which has 3 different variants that are popular: 1 cushion, 3 cushion, something else. I can't remember the other one. Some chocolate. I don't remember. Snooker has a few different variants. I don't know much about snooker because it's really not popular here at all.
Yeah.
And like I'd say, at least by where we are, carom is probably more popular than snooker. And that's where you see the table and it has no pockets.
The no pockets one is the one that has always intrigued me.
Yeah, because I always thought, I'm like, what
are you doing?
What do you do with this?
Yeah.
What is the point?
Yeah. You get it in the pocket.
And that
That's
I've
what we
actually
do.
played a few times, and like, oh my god, starting out in that game is just horrible.
Yeah.
Because what you do is the main one they play here is 3 cushion. So you take your ball, you strike the object ball, and then there's another ball, like the other player's ball or whatever, and you strike that. You have to strike that and 3 cushions.
After that sequence?
No,
Or
I think
within that?
within it you have to hit both balls and 3 cushions in order to like score a point. So you're shooting at one ball, and then it hits that ball, and it
And you have to
bounces
hit
off
your opponent's ball.
2 rails, hits the other ball, and then hits another rail. That's a point. Or if he hits 3 rails and then hits the other ball,
This is
as a point.
incredible. I feel like I could get behind that game.
and then like I said, and then snooker is, hard because the balls are small
Yeah.
and the table is like 12 feet. It's huge. Like, I mean, even somebody like 6 foot's gonna have trouble hitting half the shots because the table is like 12 by
Yeah.
5 or 6 feet or something. It's like as wide as a small pool table is long.
Wow.
It's huge. And yeah, so I think playing those different games would help me get better at all the games,
Yeah.
and it will help me
Absolutely.
to think about my game a lot better. So that was my thinking about what I wanted to do over the summer.
Yeah.
And so what else about hobbies? Like, at what point do you get bogged down? Is it like
Yeah.
right after the
Yeah.
purchase,
This is a
or
wonderful question where there eventually for me there's a feeling of like I've accumulated too much stuff and I have not produced enough within that hobby
mm-hmm,
to justify all of those things.
mm-hmm,
For me, for instance, I love woodworking and I've gone through various projects here and there, and I'll pick up a tool for a project type of a deal, and so I'll
it's like you find something to do, and you're like, yeah, this is an excuse to buy this
yeah,
thing I want.
and it's kind of a vicious cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if I'm buying the tool and justifying the project, or doing the project and justifying the tool,
Mm-hmm.
or how that works out in the human brain. Doesn't matter. I have all of this stuff now that I'm like, I have to store.
Mm-hmm.
And this spills into other areas of my life because it's not only woodworking. It's like I woodwork, I paint, I draw, I work on computers,
Mm-hmm.
um, I juggle. Now I have weights at home. I'm a cook. Um,
Well, it seems like cooking seems to be more of a thing that you really do, and it's not like so much of a like I need to buy this to do this because
no, there's some of that too. Don't get me wrong. It
that
is
$5,000 goat cheese.
no, no.
Well, it was only
I
1,000.
no. The wife won't do goat cheese, so that's out.
Oh, all right.
But so like, I got this really nice wok, but I mean, I have decent pans,
Mm-hmm.
but I do feel like I'm always running out of space in my big pans that I
Mm-hmm.
like, and then so it's like that's why I like got this nice wok, but I justified it.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly to the way that I'll justify a tool, like, oh, I want. So for instance, I made the Jenga set last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I used the uh, router table to
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of the heavy lifting on tapering, because I tapered the edges. So rather
Mm-hmm.
than having a 90-90, which is rough, you throw in a
You can get the slivers and all
yeah,
kinds of stuff. You
yeah.
can get hurt.
It
Yeah.
makes it like more durable because there are less edges that can get dented. Jenga is a very,
Yeah. Things drop
it's a
and
drop game. Should expect
I
it.
mean
You expect it. So
that's
you
the point
design
of it.
towards
Mm-hmm.
mitigating that. So that I like tapered all the edges.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that project,
You've never used
I've
the.
never used it. Like I've never like really needed to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else did I use it for? I've done some tapering here and there, or some rounding.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do rounding other ways. You can sand. Um,
Yeah, you can sand the edge until it gets
yeah,
rounded.
yeah, you can sand it. You can do it a number of different ways. But so I get to that point to where I have all this stuff, and I need to store other things.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole garage is consumed with tools, and then so, I need to store something for Lincoln, and I'm like, oh, where do I put it? I have no space because I have consumed every available image for power tools. So I'm like, I don't need any of this shit because I'm not doing enough with it to justify having it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons why I started tooling up is because when I bought a house,
You
I
thought you were gonna be like remodeling
thought I was
everything
gonna be remodeling
every weekend. You're like,
everything.
I'm gonna put an addition. I'm gonna put in a
Yeah.
treehouse, and you're just like, no.
No. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that because
life
won't
gets in the
necessarily
way.
bring value to your home. It's one thing, and then it's like I'm also, I don't need a lot. I know that I want a lot, but so I didn't want to spend the money on a couch, so I thought I'll make a couch. I made the couch. It wasn't great.
I mean, first time, first try.
First time for try. Sure, I can come back to it. Make
Mm-hmm.
it. I learned a lot. Um, about like fundamental math and then like needing to reapply it. I've talked about this, I feel like, a few times with you. There's book learning math,
Well, yeah, you got to know,
then there's fundamental math.
because you don't want it to be like solid. Otherwise, the couch is going to be like eight
Yeah.
thousand pounds, and so you got to figure out that, and you're going to put in
Yeah.
what kind of how you're going to cushion it,
But
the fabric, how it's going to tie, go in, and you got to make sure
yeah.
everything's
But
measured
that type
out.
of a project is something that unless you're willing to commit, then it becomes one of those things that you hold over into winter, through winter, and then next spring you're like, do I complete this, or should I reconsider just stopping, moving on, and reclaiming some of that space or that time in my life? And I'm quick to reclaim some of those things. I think that's something that I just can't. I can't not do that. It's innate. Um,
Oh, what, to pick it back up and keep working on it, or
no, to
just
question if I need it and be
Mm.
like, I don't need this. I don't use it. I should get rid of it. Um,
Yeah, I usually don't buy things as quickly. I think
yeah.
usually, like, for me, I don't know if it's like something I was grown up with, but like buying expensive things literally like makes me anxious.
Hmm.
So, I will take my time and I will shop around, and then
Yeah.
I'll cuz I have a circular saw, I have a table saw, and um sawzall, but that like I don't have tons of woodworking tools.
Yeah. I think it is the case that many people have these things, and that's another reason why I kind of justified getting rid of mine. Does
Because you're a man,
everyone?
you
Does
should have power
everyone? Yeah.
tools.
No. It's nonsense. If everyone has them, then you don't need them. Just borrow your neighbors or borrow yours. Like borrow your buddies. It's like I know
Hmm.
all these people that work in the industry now. Like I've
Well,
close
you
friends who have all these tools. So
well
why
you
do I need
also
any of
worked
it?
with your friend for a
Well,
while, and
yeah. I
so
mean, I did construction for a while, so it
hmm
makes sense that I had some of those tools.
well, yeah.
But then because I was in the industry, like further justified picking up other random tools.
Hmm.
And so it's like I have two shop vacs. It's like, man, do I really need two shop vacs? No, of
I
course not.
mean, unless you like really flood up a basement or something, you probably don't need to.
Well, I was using one as the vacuum for my miter saw,
Hmm.
and so I made this really nice miter bench
Hmm.
for a miter saw that it's underused. So I destroyed it over the weekend. I
Well, I think the thing you gotta, one of the things I think that makes projects or things get done is when you're doing it with somebody else. Because I think when you tend to try things on yourself,
mm-hmm.
one, you have only you to motivate you,
Hmm.
which is difficult because you get a lull. You only have you to rely on.
Yeah.
But if I'm having a
Yeah, yeah,
hard
yeah, yeah.
week and I can just barely make it here, you set everything up. Okay,
The buddy team is great for accountability
yeah,
in many
and I
regards.
don't you don't want to feel like you're letting somebody else down, and that may push you to do those things when you're just
When
sitting there
you're
like
get out of your comfort zone, get off the couch.
or just when you're just like, I can let it slide. You're like,
Yeah.
well, this person's coming over, so like
Yeah.
I can't really let it slide. I gotta kind of do this,
Got to make it happen.
and I think that works the way for a lot of things,
Yeah.
for sports, for hobbies, for work.
Yeah.
That I'm not saying you have to be lockstep on everything, but having somebody take that journey with you like makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I don't know if maybe having like a woodworking friend or somebody you like did
A mentor, even.
or a mentor, yeah, like with Pool, my
Yeah,
friend like mentoring me. I mean, I fully intend to, practice on my own and think about my
yeah,
own game, but
yeah.
he's better than me currently, so
So I could, with the tools that I have, learn through exploration how to cut shapes.
mhm.
Or I could talk to somebody who knows how to cut shapes
Yeah, I mean,
and maybe save
you've got your
myself
buddy
some of the
who
time.
works in construction and stuff. I mean, that's not the same kind of
It's
woodworking,
not the same.
but I'm sure since he's worked
Yeah.
in that kind of
I
industry,
know I
he
know
knows
somebody
people.
who makes or made like handmade furniture.
I'm like, yeah,
So
your
I could
buddy
talk to
might
them.
know people too that
Yeah.
work in that kind of industry and they can give you pointers. I think if a form of learning like a mentor mentee kind of a relationship is
Yeah.
kind of fallen out of
Yeah.
style for I don't know, the last 20, 30 years, maybe even before we were even born, it kind of started fading out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people don't still have that type of relationship, but it's not as prominent as it once was. You have it like coaches
Yeah.
and certain things in school. You can have like mentors, but I
The
think it's
the trades have been like dying off, and I feel like there was
well,
a
yeah,
lot
it's
of
because
mentorship
everybody's
in
like
trades.
you's like, yeah, you got to go into college, you got to do this because you don't want to be working
Yeah.
construction when you're
So you need
50.
this piece of paper that says that you know how to do stuff, and welcome to debt.
But the thing is, you can also like the goal of working construction is to learn all of it so you can be the
Yeah.
manager at 50, making big money and also,
Yeah.
having the skill set. But
There's so much time spent in getting ready to do stuff versus just doing the stuff that I feel like we should all, not all, but there's a lot to be said to just doing the thing
mhm.
now
Well, yeah,
versus
it's
going through this long journey of getting to the point where you think
you're ready to do
that
it.
you're ready to do
Like
it.
this. It was like remember when we were just like, let's just get it. Let's just put it on.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be pretty. Doesn't have
Yeah.
to look
Just
nice.
launch it.
As long as you can mostly make out what we say,
Yeah.
we're good. And I think, it's better. We've got lighting now. We've got a nice
Yeah.
spot to work with. We
Nice
found a
space.
time that we could actually
Yeah.
make it work.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that just came together by just, starting.
Yeah. True that.
So yeah, just starting, maybe finding a mentor or even finding, a friend or even somebody who's like even a coworker or somebody
Yeah.
who's just with you in it for that one thing.
And there's classes. Like I took a class on how to make shoes.
Mhm.
I made shoes.
Cool.
I feel like I could probably find some basic woodworking classes.
For sure, man. I'm sure it's got to be all over the place.
Yeah.
There's I mean, it's in the city. I think it still exists. It's called like Pumping Station 1.
What is that?
It's like they were big a while back, but that like a hacker space.
Oh, okay.
And if you wanted to get rid of your
Okay, with a name
tools,
like that, I feel like you could go any direction.
yeah, it's actually massage parlor.
Right.
No, but
Sure.
it's gosh, I don't want that. It's a place. It's like a maker space or
Yeah, maker
a
space.
hacker
Maker
space
space.
where they just have a bunch of tools and a bunch of materials to make things.
Yeah.
For instance, I think they have a forge there, like for metal. You can forge stuff. They have like every kind of
Yeah.
woodworking tool. You can. They have lasers to etch like into glass. One of the people made one of those Super Mario things where they had the question mark in it etched into glass. One of those glass panes, and I was like, that was pretty
That's
cool.
dope.
They have classes there. I've done one or two of
Where
them.
is this
Pumping Station 1.
Pumping station?
I think it still exists. I hope it still exists. I
You had
think
me at Forge.
I'm hoping it still exists. We could. I think the membership is like pretty reasonable, and like I
You know,
said, you.
I feel like somebody previously was mentioning that I should get into this versus buying my own tools. And I was like, oh no, I'm just gonna buy my own tools because then I'll have them and I can do it whenever I want.
And now you're saying like I want to get rid of this stuff because I'm only using it once.
Yeah, I should have listened to that
Chicago's
advice.
oldest and largest hackerspace. So yeah.
Donde estás?
Oh, they have an open. Oh wow! Here, look at all the things they have in their workshop, wood shop.
Planer, joiner, miter, vertical bandsaw, table saw, wood lathe, router table, drum sander, edge sander, spindle sander, panel saw. Yo, that's dope. Plus, they have a plasma cutting CNC, whole
Mm-hmm.
bunch of CNC stuff. Oh man,
Oh yeah, they got sewing machines. They got 3D printers. They got
electronics,
all electronic stuff. They got classes for this stuff.
fundamentals. Here we go. There's. Do they have a gong making class?
Well, I mean, they have a whatchamacallit. They have
They
forge,
have a
so you could
forge.
make yourself a gong.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
they might
man.
not have anybody there
I
who
just gotta
knows
talk to the right people.
how to do it.
Yeah. All right.
But
Where
like
is
you
the
go on
place? It's on
YouTube.
Elston,
Mm-hmm.
the 3500 North block. Okay, so that's like
Yeah. In-person open house on Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
open house, 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesdays.
Yes.
That might be possible.
And it's open 24/7 if you're a member.
Snap.
Yeah, you get. I think you get like a fob, and you can go in and
Yeah.
use the stuff. I mean, obviously, for some of the
You gotta bring
more,
your own materials, I know. But you can use the tools. So like if you
yeah.
need to make a table, it's not like they have wood that you can just
I mean, they might have some
you can make
leftover stuff
yeah,
for
buy
certain
some stuff
things,
from them
but
or
yeah,
something.
no, it's bring your own materials, use
Yeah.
our stuff.
And you have to be certified on how to use some of those things.
Yes, no, you can't. They're not going to let you use power tools without certification because they don't
Yeah.
want to get sued.
Liability.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a great place if you wanna learn. I think they even had a thing where they made their own beer.
Ha!
So
Nice.
there's all kinds of stuff you can get into,
You can
and
ferment anything.
look at kitchen stuff. Pressure cooker, toaster, mixer. You can probably find a group of people there who like to cook all kinds of crazy stuff.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, beer making equipment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You make your own beer.
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah, I was like, but that's I've thought about joining.
I feel like the one culinary tool that I've been recently interested in trying is an actual wok
Mm.
because they're impressive. They involve lots of fire and they have quick cook times. It's like super hot, super fast, and you gotta
Mm-hmm.
work the wok. It's an art form on how to cook in a wok, and I've been interested in knowing what wok life is like.
Let's see if we can. Yeah, so it's been around, I think, for like 15, 16 years or
Yeah.
more. Let's see what membership is. FAQs. I'm having access issues. No, no, no. Whatever. We
Doesn't
can
matter.
we can visit it another time.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an alternative for you,
Yeah.
and
So for yes, if I need to do projects that have complex tools, yes. But I'm just trying to do
well,
basic things. But also I guess it's the learning.
yeah, it's
Right.
the community there. Somebody there probably knows how to make, hand make wood furniture or something. And, they'd be at that location and and there would be the tools right there. It's
Yeah.
not like you'd have to go to that somebody's house or whatever and learn it at that
Yeah.
space or, you know.
Maybe.
So it's something to look into. There's a lot you can learn there. And from the few times I went there, everybody was pretty inviting.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
It's because all that homemade beer they've been making there.
Well, I don't know how much they make, but
Yeah.
mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a good place to maybe go check out one day if you want. I mean, I'm at pool on Tuesdays, so I could technically meet you there.
Where do you regularly shoot? Well,
Um,
actually, you don't have to answer that. We can talk about it later.
okay.
It's not podcast stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, those are some ideas. What else is there?
Did you have any formal topics?
I didn't really come up with anything because I think we got to start like coming up with more stuff, like interacting with people, like posing
Maybe.
questions.
Yeah.
You know, to see what people ask us questions so we can answer them. You know, get more interaction instead of us just talking about what's going on with us. Maybe, you know, we could talk about other people's issue.
Would we do a Twitch or something like that? We could Twitch it.
I mean, we could live stream it and then post
How
it.
How else would we do it?
Well, you could just have it, you know, people could ask questions on Twitter, and then we could just, you know, answer them later during the next broadcast.
Oh, true.
So you could do it that way, or we could do a live session on Twitch.
I like the idea of asking the audience and then talking about it. And also just getting back to the basic formula. You know, you have an experience. How does it make you feel? What you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my basic template for how I was trying to frame some of these conversations, because it's not only about experiencing trauma, it's about what you do with it and how you find ways to let go of it or to be okay with it or to accept it, because there's certain things that you can't make better.
Well, I think,
you know,
a lot of it is just being able to say this is what's going on, because guys in general don't really talk about anything.
Up, they don't talk.
Yeah, I'm not saying, you know, you have to be like crying in tears, but, you know, like if you're best friends with somebody and they say something like this and you've been friends for 10 years, like, oh, you know, I've had these nightmares like this for whatever, and you're just like, really? Or that you know, get this anxious over this, or you get like this. I'm like, how did I not, you know this? I'm like, I'm your friend. Maybe, you know, I should know this kind of thing. And I think it's a lot of things guys don't talk about, and that's why they have so many problems, is just because they get things in their head, and, you know, anything that makes them look weak or us look weak, we can't talk about. And so we, you know, shove it to the side because that's the manly thing to do.
Yeah.
And part of that is, so yeah, obviously giving, you know, a path to dealing with things is very important. But just the act of saying certain things almost gets you halfway there.
Yeah.
Because now it's not like something you're hiding from the world. It's something that's out there, and it's not...
No, absolutely. So I think that it's like the concept of letting the idea complete so it can go away. Or so if you're trying to meditate and you think to yourself, don't think about the red monkey.
What are you going to think about?
You think about the red monkey. Yeah.
So you're trying to avoid saying things or doing this. It's going to blow it up bigger and bigger in your mind until you can't...
Red monkey!
Or you snap at people and you become you're a dick in situations where you don't even understand why you're doing the things you're doing, because you're just keeping so much stuff bottled up. And it's not like
not having a way to recognize it or to like let it be.
This exists.
Space, communicate it outwards.
This exists. That's it.
The process of doing that as well will help you lessen the feeling. and begin the healing process, or just like
Yeah.
letting it go rather than it
I
being a
mean,
source of like tension. It can be there, but it won't make you tight.
yeah, I'm also a fan of the theory that, sometimes you'll be talking and then you'll just say something and you won't realize, like, that, that's a big issue for you. You
Yeah.
just, until you've actually put it into words, it kind of remains this nebulous idea
Yeah.
that's not really concrete. And when you put
Yeah.
it more concrete, it becomes less scary.
Hmm.
And it's easier, or now you can see where your anger is coming from, or your
Yeah.
anxiety, or this or that. So
Yeah.
I think it's definitely, you want to give people the ability to say, okay, I'm struggling,
Mm-hmm.
this is why, and not necessarily that it has to be fixed right now, but that this is happening and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm feeling bad, we can get past it. I'm not going to be less of a man, less of a friend, less of a husband, less of a father for just saying things.
Yeah.
And I think I think a lot of people feel that way, but maybe I could be wrong. And but yeah, giving people the support to make the changes is good too. I mean, that's ideally what you want to have, but you got to have that first step, being able to say
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah. 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 I mean, also to be willing to change, you have to be willing to change. And to
Mhm.
be willing to change, or to change, you have to like be able to express,
Mhm.
what needs to change,
Or know
or no.
what you need to change or why you need to change it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because you can't, and it's all about, in my opinion, internal intentions too.
Mhm.
Because you can attempt to externally motivate somebody to have a specific behavior, but
Mhm.
they're not going to do it unless they want to do it.
Mhm.
So
I mean, well, yeah, you can condition somebody, but after a certain point, unless you're willing to be
yeah,
very, very, heavy about it, it's not going to work.
yeah.
So
And who are we to condition others?
we're all conditioned ourselves.
Yeah,
Anyways, but yeah, that would be what I would think. Just like getting people to be able to say things that they didn't think they could say before, I think is a great start. And then getting them, that'll get them into groups of people that can help together to get out of these situations, because I think a lot of it's also community.
yeah,
Like, one person by themselves, struggle running up against the wall, nothing's ever going to change. You got to add in more variables if you want to see some change. So, but yeah, I think having people call in and interact would be good. I have like maybe, yeah, like a clear step system on how we can minimize a task so it's one step instead of a gigantic problem, like you say, is a great thing. So structure it more like that as we get better and better and more consistent.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you think you might want to talk about? I don't even know what time we
No,
started
I'm
at.
good.
We've been doing for about, let's see. Does it have a timer on there?
It's like an hour.
58 minutes. All right. Um, did we do a challenge last time or no? Because
I
I
don't think so.
I don't think so. Maybe we should just restart the challenge like now, because we kind of had a whole.
Do you
When
want
are we
to?
gonna record?
Do
When
you
are we
need
not?
to be challenged?
I think everybody needs to be challenged.
Okay.
But maybe it would be different this time when we're talking about motivation. Maybe instead of trying like to challenge somebody to do an activity, we should challenge them for like you to find a mentor or somebody who could help you with woodworking.
Hmm. An interesting idea.
Or maybe not even that. Maybe it could be somebody you can woodwork with. Just if woodworking
I
is
don't like that challenge.
okay, fine.
Yeah, sorry. Um,
I mean, I was just saying, as a means to get you where you want to go, which is more woodworking.
I'm fine where I am now.
All right.
Um, yeah, I'm good with I'm good with the learning process. I don't always necessarily so like to work out. I don't need to work out with somebody. I can just go work out. I enjoy the process. Same way with woodworking, and also I just need to try to do it by myself and fail some before I seek knowledge.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's fair.
Well, I mean, I like challenges. We can do different challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, I guess, rejecting that one.
All right. Huh. Well, let's see. We did music. That was the first one.
I
Hmm.
feel like I never really closed. I never really like made a good intro, but I tried.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the intro doesn't matter. The intro music
Mm.
yet.
Yeah, I would say we still got time on that.
Yeah.
What else could we do? Is there an endurance thing you want to build up to? Maybe with your ice baths or your
Oh, you know
running or
what would be
something?
perfect? Be a good joggling challenge.
Sure.
Um,
I mean, I don't know what your range is, so you're
let's
gonna
see.
have to give
Yeah,
me the
yeah, yeah,
challenge
yeah,
because I don't
yeah.
know.
Let's see. I have been. I should challenge myself to joggle twice a week. Just keep it basic.
Twice a week, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Um, I have a lot of personal challenges for moves that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on some behind the back club moves, but they're going to be difficult to do while running. It's more of a launch thing. I
Mm-hmm.
can do it at when I'm
When you're
launching.
starting.
Starting, I can do one behind the back,
Mm-hmm.
but getting behind the back while
While you're
running
running is difficult.
with juggling pins.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I've been trying to do behind the back with balls while running, and I can kind of do it. I can do it decently. But
Mm-hmm.
this year I'm focusing on pins or clubs, so I'll just. Yeah. Is that really a challenge? Because I'm going to do this anyway. I feel like we should be doing stuff that's pushing ourselves into areas to where we're learning. Yeah, I'm going to joggle anyway. This can't be a challenge.
Well,
Um,
I'm saying joggle, but give yourself a challenge in joggling, not necessarily, just to joggle.
mm,
Maybe add an extra object or something.
oh my God! Don't push me into four objects. That's like such a big change.
I I don't know. Then I
That would
you
be a
don't have to.
challenge. Oh man,
There
that
you go.
legitimately that would be a good challenge.
So
This is
maybe
something that I put it on the shelf and I thought to myself, it's too hard. I can't do it.
mm-hmm.
This would be a big moment for me if I move from three objects to four objects.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That would
Maybe
be
you should
exciting.
like try like at first, standing still, then walking, then building up.
No, I'm gonna go straight to standing over a volcano.
Legit, I like it.
Yeah. Straight to the floor is lava.
Floor is lava. All right. So, see, there's a
There
good
we go.
one.
Oh man. How exciting. There's gonna be a lot of drops.
Well, of course,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of drops. It's like
I could start it today, Sean.
swish. You could start it today. I could
That's
go
exciting.
to the pool hall right
Yeah.
after this and start playing snooker. Well,
Yeah. Yeah, what's your challenge?
not really. I'd have to wait like 3 days because I'd have to buy a new snooker cue from like Amazon,
Oh.
and then that.
Specific snooker cues.
Well, yeah, because the cue balls, the balls are smaller, so the tip has to be smaller.
Oh yeah. I've seen those before.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was
And
just
I
for
think
small
the
people.
the cue might actually be a little bit longer. I'm not entirely sure, like the length. Yeah, I don't know. I could do something pool related since give myself a goal to work
Yeah.
towards.
What's a good pool challenge? Are there any like shots, like trick shots? Do you
Well, I mean, trick
do you mess
shots.
with that?
I haven't really messed with trick shots. I mean, that might be one fun thing to try.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, competitive pool, trick shots aren't really the thing you do. It's more like running out a
I know.
rack,
I know.
like being able to break, make, and run, break and make all the balls
Yeah.
before the other person has a chance to shoot. A goal like being able to do that 1 in 10 times or something, or 1 in whatever times
Yeah.
when I shoot. That would probably be a good competitive goal, but I'd have to kind of know where I'm at right now
Yeah.
in terms of like how often I do it.
Yeah.
So you know what?
What time is it? 4:30?
Yeah, we could probably
Yeah.
call it. So you know what? I will maybe post it on one of our socials what it is, because I have to
There
look at
you
my
go.
stats to give myself a good like goal. What
Goal.
am I going to do in a month? I'm not going to say like I'm going to improve exponentially, but what's a good target? Maybe I'm doing it 1 in 20 games right now. What if I can do it in like 1 in 15 games?
Just to get the stats, I feel like that. To get real stats,
Mm-hmm.
you'd have to play like 60 games to get your 1 in 20, like, or
Well,
your
let's say
50 games for your 1 in 10, or,
for instance, I'm a 5 right now, and I have to play. I have to win 4 games to win a match. One night.
Okay.
And so I played maybe 11 or 12 times this season, which means I shot
Okay.
at least 44 games, probably closer to 60
Okay.
this
So you've got
season.
it.
And all my stats are recorded on
There you go.
APA
There you
for
go.
the last
You've got the stats.
14 years.
Wow.
Yeah, from the league. So it's all in there. I
It's
just
in
have to
there.
go on there and look at my stats.
Yeah.
And I can see how,
Oh.
for the last like year, I could see how often I've made a break and run,
Yeah.
because those get recorded. So yeah, I'll look that up and then I'll post
I
it on
think
a social.
if you make a. So would the goal be you're shooting towards getting all of the balls from the time of break at a specific percentage? Or are
It would
you.
be like how many games out of 100 that I break and run. It would be a percentage. So like right now I might be like,
Ultimately, I'm driving at how are you going to measure it to know you're like doing better?
well, for one, I could keep the league track of it via the league,
Yeah.
and I could see, if I'm playing in the next month, I'm on 2 teams, and I play, you know, maybe 6 times. That's 6 times. That's 24. So, assuming I did it one every 20 times, if I do it 2 times in that period, I'd be
Hmm.
doing it better. I mean, granted, yeah, it's for a month, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
do that.
That's all right. We don't have to get hung up on this. The
But yeah,
statistics.
I'll think of something about it. I could lower my innings. How many innings on average that I shoot right now? It's about 3 or 4 innings per game.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could get that down to like 2 to 3,
There you go.
that would be great, and that's much easier to get statistics wise.
Like how many times you're up to shoot?
Yes, that's how many times you go up to shoot. Like you
Yeah.
both shoot is an
Yeah.
inning.
Okay.
Ah, all right.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm like 3 to 4 right now. I'll go aim for 2 to 3.
Cool.
Alrighty. Well, that's Bro
Thank you for
Helio.
listening.
That's Bro Helio signing
Yeah.
out.
Signing out.
Thank you.